funny, but I'm not a Jew. Oh, crap.
See,
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Arms Room 15 podcast. I am joined here with my two favorite people, Eric and Devin. Gentlemen, say hello.
hello.
Arrivederci.
All right.
I can't make that reference because I haven't seen the movie.
Little side note, we were talking about Inglourious Bastards beforehand because it was kind of funny. But yeah, if you've never seen that movie, go see it. Brad Pitt plays a hilarious role. So, today's going to be a little bit all over the place. But first order of business, I've got some Girl Scout cookies that I want y'all to try.
Girl Scout.
Listen.
Hey.
It's for the troops.
Hey.
Different troops.
Different troops, but it's for the troops, okay?
The drug dealers.
Well, yeah.
The troop has.
See, I was clean until I ran into my drug dealer.
Exactly.
At Publix.
What kind are they?
These, I'm going to explain to you what they are. They're called Toastiers. Yeah, it sounds as gay. It doesn't taste as gay. Never mind. Wow.
Good thing you're editing these things out.
I'm editing that right out. No, I'm not. Screw it. These are French toast inspired cookies.
That does not look like French toast.
They taste like French
Inspired.
toast. They are stupid good.
Looks like French toast with AIDS.
Wow.
Let me see.
So it's like a whole bread. If they called it shortbread, you'd believe it, but...
Or Devon bread.
Wow.
Wow.
Semi-tall bread?
He's intolerant. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. I've already tasted them, so I know what they taste like. I love them. They are bad, okay? Because I could eat this whole sleeve while we're on this podcast.
It's a graham cracker.
Pretty much.
It's delicious.
It's a graham cracker with
it's not.
It's a graham cracker with like icing on the bottom.
It's literally a graham cracker.
That's what it tastes like.
You're wrong.
Like a thicker graham cracker.
It's thick with 2 C's.
Oh yeah, it's definitely...
Can you fill up your mouth a little bit more when saying that again?
It's thick with 2 C's.
thick.
The flip with 2 C's. I'm dipping it in my coffee.
As you watch us eat.
This is now ASMR.
No, for some people that's like the opposite of ASMR.
All right. I just wanted to get their opinion, but because the last time we did a food challenge on the podcast, me and Devin ended up
Almost dying.
in pain for a while.
And then I almost died like however many days later.
We made him do it. It was fun. But
Fun is a very strong word. It was an experience.
making him do it was fun. Watching him do it was fun.
Okay.
Come on. It wasn't fun while we were doing it.
It was pretty funny.
I know. If only I could be heard better.
Oh,
on
it's
the
just a
podcast.
graham cracker.
It is.
Hey.
Graham cracker with icing.
It is. I didn't say I hate graham crackers. It's just a glorified graham cracker.
It's good.
Sure.
It's good, but it's not anything to write home about.
I disagree. Because these have not been a thing when I was eating Girl Scout cookies.
You know what's funny? It was probably the first time I've actually had a Girl Scout cookie in quite a while. In quite like years and years.
Yeah.
Years and years and years.
So it had been about that long for me.
Which is funny because my wife loves them and buys them,
Really?
but she just eats them. I don't really care to be like, oh, I want one too. You know,
Yeah.
I just really don't.
So one of my guys, his daughter was selling them, and they brought them into work, and somebody left this on my desk with a note that said, "Here, Josh." And I went, "All right, I'll take a Girl Scout cookie." And I ate it, and it was good.
And
So
I will always be of the type that Thin Mints are the best.
I have a love-hate
What
relationship
kind
with Thin
of
Mints.
blasphemy or heresy is that?
Thin Mints are the best Girl
Listen,
Scout cookies.
when it comes to Girl Scout cookies, there's a huge
heresy to
Thin
me.
Mint
Stealing
following.
I'll steal this one then. I'll steal this.
I don't, that's awesome. You can have that.
You do.
All right.
I was like, I don't share my water with people who eat Thin Mints.
It's like water. I don't eat the stuff. Fish poop in it. There's no lights on.
Yeah,
All right.
obviously.
Moving on. We're going to get into our show and tell part because Eric is itching over here. He got something new to show everybody, and he's itching. And I just seen it for the first time, and it's not bad.
So, first of all, I would like to specify this is a graduation gift to myself because I finally finished that SDI, and I wanted to treat myself to the only thing that seemed appropriate, which was a gun. And here it is. This is something I've been wanting for a very long time. This is a Keltec KSG. Some of you are probably like, nothing special, except it has 2 mag tubes there. You can see 2 mag tubes.
You're pointing it at the audience.
I'm pointing it at the camera. So,
It is unloaded. There's nobody behind the cammer. Just FYI.
Yes. We
For
record
the
off
YouTube
laptop.
moderator.
yeah, obviously I wouldn't have done it if there was someone back there. So, bullpup design, you feed through here, and you also chamber through here. However, because it has 2 mag tubes, I can't really show it very well, but there is a select switch right there that allows me to choose which tube to feed from. And because it has 2 mag tubes that can hold 7 shells each, I get 14 shotgun shells in total on one load. And because there's 2 different mag tubes, I can load them up a separate one, so I can have like buckshot in one and slugs in the other.
That's what I was just thinking. So, you got that selector right there, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, this could be dangerous. This is a dangerous thought because as soon as I started to think about this, immediately Kim Potter popped in my head. The lady that pulled the gun instead of the taser and shot the guy. So this
It's a good thing these are the police force. Oh, those weren't beanbag rounds.
right. That's what I was thinking. So you could load 1 mag tube.
I almost killed Devin with water.
You could load 1 mag tube with the rubber buckshot.
Yeah.
Riot control, right? And then if things get super sticky, flick the switch, and now you got real buckshot or slugs or whatever. So, I mean, if you wanted to, that's something you could throw in there, but God help you if you hit the wrong switch.
Sure hope you remember the make it on the right switch.
No, Lord knows Kim Potter would have pulled this out and be like, he's leaving! Oh, I thought that was a taser.
Taser.
Like, blow his head off.
Just empties the entire, and then switches it and empties it again.
Yeah.
Taser.
I kind of feel bad for her, I'm not going to lie. Like, I kind of feel bad because that was a crappy situation. She did have to make a quick decision. Unfortunately, she made the absolute wrong decision.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I blame training.
Huh?
Yeah. I definitely blame
Well,
the
so
training.
that's I agree with you. I kind of blame the training too, but I also blame the defund the police people because they're all out here hollering defund the police, but they don't realize when you defund the police, what's the first thing to go? Training. And any extra training that was planned, guess what? That costs money out the door.
Yeah, training will go, certain pieces of equipment will go. There are certain police agencies across the United States that don't have body cams
Yeah.
because they can't afford it.
Right, exactly. And actually, so on the weekends, on Friday and Saturday, there's a show called On Patrol. It used to be called Live PD. But On Patrol Live, they follow Indian River County, I think? No, Coweta County in Georgia. And they don't have body cameras. They have the ones that go on, like, around the glasses. And they go, like, it goes around it's like a reverse glasses. It goes around the back of your head. But then on one side, it has the camera right here. That's good and bad. Bad because it could get easily knocked off, I feel like. Good because wherever the officer is looking, you're looking at his point of, like, vision at that point. His point of view. So you're looking, and on body cams, you can't always see, like, the guy flinch, go for a gun. But if you're looking at the vision where the cop is looking, you might be able to pick that up on a camera better if you're looking where he's looking and not just in a general direction.
What site do you have on this?
So, yeah. So, first of all, these attachments did not come with it. I added these. So the sun is actually a hollow sun.
Oh.
It's a hollow sun red dot.
Chinese.
Yep. But it was $50.
Hollow Suns are good, man. They're good brands.
It'd be great when in World War III and we're
Yep, and they
pulling a stinking World War One.
Yep. The trench sweeper that holds double the ammunition.
Oh gosh.
No, I'm talking about us killing the enemy with their own equipment.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Already trained on it.
But so yeah, the Holostone sight was actually only $50.
Really?
Yeah, it was a used one, and I was gonna put iron sights on it, but then the guy who I got it online, Palmetto State Armory. The guy that I had this delivered to, I was gonna pay for the iron sights, which would have been total for both pieces like $70. He's like, I got a used Holostone for $50. I was like,
Done. Say less.
Yep, just like that.
Put it in the hand.
Yep, and then I also put the foregrip on here.
Is this able to be co-witnessed?
It can if I put it up further.
Yeah, I feel like where that's at, that's in an optimal spot, and you really can't, you don't have room behind it.
Yeah.
For optics, be probably up here to be the optimal spot, but it works
Well, the thing is,
pretty much
like,
anywhere.
I can get up about this far on it.
Yeah.
That's fine. You can
Be like,
you don't. So you don't have to. So unlike iron sights, you don't have to be up on it. You can be. It can be like way up here, and it'll be just fine. And then you can put the 2 sights on there.
But I don't know. We'll see. I was hoping
It's nifty. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little weighty. Not necessarily heavy. The buttstock part is a little weighty, right? It feels like when that goes off, it's going to kick you in the shoulder. You're gonna know you just shot a Kel-Tec shotgun.
Yep. Well, and the thing is too,
But
I know a lot of people.
That's the KS7.
KSG.
KSG. Okay.
So that's like the original design. I think Kel-Tec makes another special one where it's actually a double barrel, double mag tube fed.
Yes.
So 1 trigger pull per barrel, but they feed at the same time.
But they also have one that is like, I think the barrel is like, I want to say something stupid, like 26 inch, 28 inch.
Oh yeah,
barrel.
they got a very long one.
And it has like 30. You can put 15 shells in each tube.
Wow.
So it's like 30. Imagine 30 rounds. That's a street sweeper at that point. And if all you have to do to reload is flick that switch over and you're there again, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad for whatever all the watermelons you're gonna shoot at with this thing.
Yeah, I haven't shot it yet. That's the thing, because a lot of ranges around us don't allow shotguns, so I gotta find a place that
Which
allows
is dumb. That's a gripe, by the way. We should have a gripe day. And that's gonna be on there.
Definitely. Now, here's the cool thing about this, though. So it's a bullpup design, which means it has a profile less than that of a normal traditional shotgun, even ones with 18.5-inch barrels. Because the bullpup design, the barrel starts back here. It doesn't start up here like most shotguns do. So this barrel is 18.5 inches in total, and so this is actually legal, doesn't reclassify it as an SPS, and the ATF can bugger off completely because the shotgun also has a length of 26.2 inches, which is 0.2 inches more than the 26 minimum requirement. So,
I thought something dumb was coming out of your mouth. I should have known. Yeah. I feel like that's Kel-Tec though. That's like Kel-Tec going, you know what? 0.2. Let's make it 0.2.
Well, most places do. So like the minimum requirement for a shotgun is 18 inches, but most do 18.5.
For the barrel, yeah.
Just so that there's a little bit of leeway.
What is this here that's showing? It looks like... no.
That's probably something to strip it. I actually haven't figured out how to break this thing apart yet, but I can imagine it's probably a pain in the butt.
A gunsmith student has not figured out how to break apart the gun yet.
Do you know how many guns I have to break apart right now? I have several, as y'all have seen already, and this isn't even it.
I do like that ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous.
Yeah, that one. Oh God, you're screwing me up here.
I call it the unlocking mechanism. So there's a little piece right here on the front of the trigger guard that, because the shotgun, the slide locks when you haven't shot it yet. That prevents you from pulling it out of battery.
Ambidextrous slide release. That's what I was thinking.
Because it prevents you from pulling it out of battery.
Is it ambidextrous on both sides?
Yep. Well, that's what ambidextrous means.
No. I meant like safety. Okay.
No, safety is only one. So goes through there for the fire, and then right there for the safety.
All right.
So yeah, but this is ambidextrous. So
it's pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's ugly as sin.
Yeah, that's the thing. We spent a lot of time talking on Kel-Tec, and I go and buy a Kel-Tec. This is the only Kel-Tec I've ever wanted. Okay.
Here's the deal, though. Of all the Kel-Tecs, this is probably the nicest.
The nicest one, right? Yeah.
Oh, and I haven't told you the benefit, or not the benefit. The cool thing about this is this shotgun can go anywhere from $825 to $1,000, give or take.
Yeah.
I got this for $650 on Palmetto State Armory because they were having a sale on it, and that's what made me spring on it.
Listen, we've said it before. We're a fan of Palmetto State here.
Yep. She's beautiful.
Do you need some time alone?
Yeah, why don't y'all step out?
Wow. Why don't someone call Grace and tell her?
He's cheating on you. With who? Kel-Tec.
With Kel-Tec.
Who's Kel-Tec?
You'll find out. All right.
Kelly.
With Kelly. Oh, that's not good.
Tech.
Kelly Tech. Is that her last name? I'm looking this girl up. Anyways.
They're talking about my girlfriend.
Yeah.
I'm not single anymore.
But it's out of respect for her. We're just dogging on him.
Yeah. And we're not going to say her last name.
Her.
Well, nobody is. Well, I guess, yeah.
I want to keep certain identity parts a secret. My private life.
Privates.
I don't blame you. All right, so Devin brought up a good topic, and it's kind of been harped on a little bit, but we're gonna add to the harping,
Just
if you will.
Funny.
They deserve it.
Listen, the acorn drill, gentlemen.
Dude.
The acorn drill.
When acorns attack.
I mean, all right, Devin, you want to explain the story?
You know, I only recently discovered, like we were talking about earlier, I first saw it in meme form.
Okay.
So I was just like, for like a few days into it, I was just like, what is all this going on? I didn't even bother. I didn't care.
Sure.
Well, apparently, a couple police officers detained a person.
Wish there were so many errors in that process.
Yeah, well, I'm not here to critique all that. I don't care enough about it.
All right, so let me lay down the background, okay? These officers pulled over, they didn't pull him over, they were investigating a domestic violence, which those are always high stress, those are always, I get that, those are always the worst calls to get onto. So they go to this domestic violence call, and the lady's like, hey, this is the guy, she's describing him, she's showing the text messages, he said he's got a gun with a silencer. And this, while she's explaining to the cop, this guy shows up at her house. The cops go over to him and, hey, what are you doing here? You know, she's telling us this, and the guy was respectful. I mean, as far as I know, he was respectful. Okay. He ends up getting detained. He ends up getting put in the back of a police car.
Can I add something on that real quick?
Sure.
They detained him and put him in the back of the police car without patting him down.
No, they did.
Despite the fact that 911 call said he had a suppressed weapon.
Nope, they patted him down.
Which was a huge mistake on their part.
They patted him down. That's the worst part.
The operator said they didn't.
They didn't?
After the male suspect walked up on scene. The sergeant on scene who was involved in the shooting told other deputies, hey, go ahead and pat him down. They pat him down and then
Okay, we got to figure out the video. We got to figure out if they did or didn't. But regardless,
they may if they
procedure is to pat someone down before you
Yeah.
put them in your car. Period. That's procedure.
Yeah, that's procedure. When I watched Donut Operator, he said that they actually didn't. They just put him in the back in handcuffs.
Okay, so they're trying to figure out everything that's going on, and then the video picks up where this officer's walking back to his vehicle, where this suspect is. This officer has an SUV, and so he's walking up the passenger side of it, and he goes up, and I guess he's going to go talk to the guy or something like that. Meanwhile, an acorn drops. Now, I don't know about you guys. Have you ever had an acorn drop on your car in Florida? Yeah. I have too. Sounds nothing like
multiple states
a suppressed weapon. Sounds nothing like it.
Actually, I've had a... Actually, you know what's worse than an acorn landing on your car?
What?
One of those, not even a older one, but a fresh pine cone.
Oh, yeah.
Those really thick, hard ones, the ones that haven't bloomed yet.
Yeah.
I've had those hit my head once. It just landed right in my head. That's what's wrong with me.
I was going to say, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the pine cone. It must have hurt.
Right.
I mean, think about it. There was no effects.
Slap him.
So he's like, think about it.
Yep.
Give him a minute.
What were we talking about?
I see the smoke. So anyways, as he's walking back as he's walking back to the side of his patrol car, an acorn hits his car. This cop thinks the suspect, mind you, who is handcuffed.
In the back of a police car.
Regardless if they patted him down or not, he's in handcuffs. Now, I've seen people slip handcuffs. It's not a crazy thing. Mm-hmm. This cop, heard the acorn hit the top of his cruiser, his SUV. He begins to do multiple barrel rolls.
Like he's playing Elden Ring.
No, it was definitely a ninja roll.
Whatever
you can see his hand going. Zoop.
He's doing tactical rolls like he's in Elden Ring fighting the final boss.
Listen, he does
Didn't somebody
three.
make that term?
That actually did. Yeah.
He added the stick. It's so great.
He does 3 tactical barrel rolls,
It says acorn.
and then he lays down. Right? He lays down. He's on his side, and he unloads an entire magazine from his service pistol into the back of his cruiser, his own cruiser.
Yep.
Which, mind you, if he would have stopped and taken a second and looked, he'd have saw there's no bullet holes in his vehicle. Well, he was quick to change that because he put several and said, "I'm hit, he's shooting." And his partner comes running by, which his partner was a sergeant and his field training officer. His partner comes running over, and she goes, "What? Where?" And then she starts unloading. Mind you, neither one of them have seen any visual evidence that there's shots happening, besides the ones that are coming from their guns. Okay? They both unload. Both of them. The guy unloads a full magazine, reloads, drags his body behind a car, incoherently, like he had such an adrenaline dump in his body he couldn't even form words, right? Mind you, I'm not critiquing him as an officer. I'm critiquing his training. Okay,
I'll critique the heck out of him as an officer.
Listen, so he proceeds to yell, I'm hit," and so they're trying to figure everything out. Okay, all this goes down. Neither one of them hit the guy.
Which is like kind of a situation where it's like, thank God, but really?
Yeah, exactly.
He's pinned in a what is it, a 6x4
Not even.
place, like back of a police car?
Not even. Probably 4 foot, 4.5 feet by 2 feet, 3 feet.
Yeah.
Like the cages back there are not very big. They're made to be somewhat tight so that people can't maneuver around and slip their cuffs and stuff like that. So, but that's another thing. A sergeant, and this guy was somewhat of a newbie, but still, I mean, you have to qualify to, carry a gun. Both of these officers, and then you know what the kicker is?
What?
He yelled, "Put your hands up." I think the guy even said, "Are you kidding me? I'm in cuffs."
All right. This is what this whole situation is reminding me of.
Oh boy.
Oh, here we go.
What the hell are you doing?
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have to clip that and throw that in. That's great. That's yeah.
What happened?
What are you doing?
Oh my gosh.
No,
And that's the crazy part. I think there was in total, I want to say something like 27 shots, and not a single shot hit the guy. And do you know what he was? His original arrest was for making threats.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I think he's getting paid.
Oh, he's going
He's
to.
gonna get paid.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, it absolutely, because a lot of this annoys me. But for one, there's a number of things that can help you determine if you were fired upon by a suppressed weapon versus, an acorn hitting your car. Number one is suppressed weapons are a lot louder Now, don't get it confused with what the movies say. It's not.
Wait. You mean to tell me they don't go pew pew pew?
You mean you can't, in fact, shoot at each other in a crowd
and no one
nobody
knows?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
I'd have to see it. I don't believe it.
I don't believe it.
Video or it didn't happen.
Right, video. Well, we have video.
No, they can't put anything in the movies unless it's true.
Yeah, same thing with the
Abraham
internet.
Lincoln said that on the internet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The internet that Al Gore made.
Right.
Well,
Moving on. What were you saying?
so it's like, because like when a suppressor is on a weapon, because your gun's making probably about 4 different sounds as it's going through the firing process. Number 1 would be the sound of the firing pin striking the primer, maybe the hammer striking the firing pin too. You would have the actual ignition, like the gunpowder and the loud sound that makes, kind of sounds like an explosion. Then you have the sound of the bullet breaking the sound barrier, and you have the sound of the mechanics of the gun, right?
All happening at once.
Yeah. The suppressor only minimizes one of those sounds, and that's the sound of the gunpowder. If you use supersonic ammo, which most ammo is, it's not, subsonic ammo is not that common, then chances are you're going to hear the bullet break the sound barrier, you're going to hear the mechanics of the gun, and on top of all that, the suppressor doesn't necessarily make it quiet with the gunpowder. It's still actually quite loud. It just reduces it by 30 something decibels.
Yeah, it basically reduces it enough so you don't have to use hearing protection.
Yeah.
Right.
That's about as low as.
Because that's about what.
But guess what? There's a lot of things that are loud that you don't need hearing protection for.
Right.
Yeah.
So hearing protection on average is about 30 to 32 decibels reduction if you have good ones, right? There are some that are 40s, in the 40s, there are some that are in the high 20s, but most of the time it's around 30-ish decibels that hearing protection protects you from. So.
Yeah, I think about 32 decibels is what you'll standardly find in an outdoor store.
For that, yeah.
For hearing protection. And suppressors will bring it down to roughly about that point. It's still loud, it's just not as loud as it could be. Not to mention that, something like, I don't know,
also,
broken glass would occur, or the fact that he was crossing in front of the window, which, being shot.
He thought he was shot.
Yeah.
There's actually one other sound that they would hear, and that's hitting whatever is hitting, which is actually louder, usually, than whatever your suppressed firearm.
Yeah.
Like whenever we used to run suppressed in the ranges I used to work.
Yeah.
You would hear more of the round hitting the backdrop than you would hear of the firearm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's just because it's just hitting it so hard. It's metal on steel, and it's get pretty loud.
It's
and
if
a round was going through a cop car, you'd hear it.
Yeah.
You'd actually probably hear that before you probably, if he was shooting from within, they probably wouldn't even hear the firearm. They would probably be hearing the round
glass
coming through, and that would be a lot louder than a stinking acorn just dropping on it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the point we're trying to make, right? Like, we're not trying to harp on the guy, but dang, wasn't that loud? Like, that's louder than an acorn.
Yeah,
It's more like
when I first saw it, I
more
didn't actually catch the sound of the acorn.
I didn't either. I
either.
had to watch that video 3 times, and apparently Donut's video broke down, and you can actually see the acorn hit the
he actually shows it, because it's right at the corner of the camera, but he highlights it. Goes,
Yeah.
And it literally just makes it sound like that.
Yeah,
it's so quiet.
Barely hits.
Dude was obviously way too jumpy to be a cop.
Well, okay, so let's talk about that. He was jumpy, but he was also a cop hired after 2020. And one of the guys that I watched that broke down that video, he is a trainer for police. Like, he trains police officers at the academy and stuff. And so he said that this guy was a post-2020 hire. Now, anybody that has been in the U.S. since 2019 knows everything that's pretty much been going on since 2020. 2020 was the year that we had COVID. It was the year that we had all the riots. It was the year that the George Floyd thing happened. And every officer hired after that has been basically I'm screwed if I do, screwed if I don't type thing. Like, you can get in trouble for doing your job at this point.
Oh yeah.
So that's probably on his mind.
Although that's the weird thing. I could get in trouble for doing my job. So I go the exact opposite direction and just empty stinking
Just
round.
undo the guy.
Just delete him from existence.
That's the worst part. Neither one of them even deleted anything on him.
Well, they deleted the
but
cruiser.
They tried.
They deleted the cruiser.
That cruiser's
They
in
kept
the
hitting Control Alt F and not Control Alt Delete. So they're like, why isn't it working?
But I will say, what really pissed me off about that was the sergeant, because
Right.
she's supposed to be experienced.
Exactly.
She's been on the. I mean, being a sergeant, first you need, I think it's like a bachelor's at least in criminal justice to be a
Right.
sergeant, and you need, I think, I mean, it probably varies.
You need a
but
certain amount of years. It does vary between agencies, but I agree with you. You don't just get handed sergeant when you come out of the academy, right?
Yeah.
Sergeant means you've been on the force for a while. You've been through your 1-year probation period. You've been through field training and all this other stuff, and you've proven yourself to be proficient at the job.
Yep.
You're now in charge of other people to make them proficient
Yeah.
at the job.
And what did she do when he kept yelling shots fired? She didn't hear anything. No one heard anything. All she heard was shots fired, shots fired. Then he started
hit.
shooting. Yep. And she didn't bother to go like,
Where are you hit?
yeah, where are you hit? Where are the shots coming from? Like, we would have heard that.
Right.
And instead, she started shooting as well.
I believe what she said was, where, there, boom, 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 and just started unloading. I agree with you. That irritates me to death because that is the superior officer. Now, if you know the outcome, you know that this all happened in Florida. It's where we're all at. But this didn't happen. I think this happened on the East Coast. So it happened a little bit away from us. But,
East Coast and I think down south.
yeah, like
I forget.
Melbourne, I think. Melbourne area. Something
Was
like
it
that.
Melbourne? I thought it was a little bit further south than that.
Maybe Vero Beach. Either way, so
I'm going to find out.
here's the thing.
Do that.
This officer resigned, but do you know that he held to his report up until like all of this happened last year in like November, and everything's just now coming out, but he held to his story that he was shot in the vest. He thought he was shot in the vest.
Mm-hmm.
And so up until the point where they showed him in trial, hey, here's the acorn, this is what you heard. Like, we searched him. There was no weapon found on him. He was still in cuffs. Like, so he had to be shown, like, look, stupid, this is what happened. Mm-hmm. And so all of that happened.
Okay. So it actually happened in Okaloosa County, which is...
Oh, that's a
really
panhandle.
far. Yeah, that's Panhandle area, like way up in the Panhandle.
Oh, yeah, that's Floribama area.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was on the East Coast for
Which
some
makes
reason.
a lot more sense.
I don't know. Some of them, I feel like, all right, so they say the further north you go in Florida, the more south you are. The more south you go in Florida, the more north you are. Because all the northerners go to southern Florida. All the country people go to northern Florida.
Yep.
Don't know why. It's just how it is.
With a couple of exceptions, like the Polk County area.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Polk County.
like Polk County and...
Can you imagine if this would have happened in Polk County?
oh,
Can you imagine what Grady would have done to both of them sheriffs?
oh, yeah.
You're both in jail now. And now this guy's going to walk.
Which is the thing, because like they didn't arrest him because it's like, oh well, he had reason to believe his life was in danger. It's like, okay, sure, he misinterpreted an acorn for some ungodly reason, a suppressed weapon.
Right.
But whatever, mind you that. So you can't charge him with an attempted murder charge.
No.
But can't you at least charge him with wanton endangerment?
Oh,
Because
100%.
you're supposed to know the difference between the two?
I mean,
At the very least?
I almost feel like this is almost a case for ag assault.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
It's a thin line, right?
do they no longer teach them that you should have positive visual on the target before you actually
That's another
open
thing.
fire?
That's another thing. Like, he thought he was shot at, but now, if he would have done his barrel rolls, pulled his service pistol, and like trained himself on the back of the car and waited for a second, gave it a split second, he would have realized no one's shooting at me.
Yeah.
There's no glass coming out the back. Because if that guy was shooting at him, he would have kept shooting at him. Anybody that shoots at a cop is going to keep shooting because they obviously are trying to get away.
Right. Which I don't know how that would have worked in his favor anyway, because he can't open them from the inside.
Right.
So you're stuck there.
Could you imagine the face of that guy inside the car, seeing him going into a roll, just be like, what? What did he just?
And then
do?
next thing you know, all of a sudden, it's like curled up in a fetal position.
So that's what they think he did. That's what they. Oh, that scared the crap out of me. That's what they think he did. They think he, with his hands behind his back, handcuffed. They think he like dropped onto the seat and all the rounds went up and missed him because. So the sergeant was coming, like, if this is the vehicle here.
Get small, get small.
Yeah, no kidding. So if this is the vehicle, the guy ran around the back and was shooting at the back. The sergeant ran up from the side and was shooting at the side. So they're hitting two different angles.
Yeah.
They're literally launching rounds in his direction. And by the way, the sergeant's backstop, oh my gosh. The other officer, she was almost in dead line with the other officer. That angle she was at,
it was a bad
she was at a hard
situation.
angle. If she thought he was shooting, she should have strafed until she got to the side of the vehicle and then shot. She shot at a hard angle, and you can see in the backdrop the other officer, after his barrel rolls, is on his knees like this.
Yeah.
So it's like not only did you guys not positively identify the target, you're also shooting in your partner's direction. Mm-hmm. And amazingly, all three of them walked away. Not a single shot hit them.
It's like the guy in the car. He's like, good news, I'm alive. Bad news,
I need new shorts.
You're gonna have to clean up this back of the seat.
Good news, you guys suck at shooting. Bad news, I just crap myself.
He got up. He's like, thank God for Stormtrooper aim. You don't know what that is.
I can still laugh at it. It's still funny. It's
Anyway.
potato aim.
Wait, what?
They call it potato aim.
Potato. I'm a potato.
You ever have a... No, never mind. Call of Duty. 12-year-olds. Like, you suck! You've got potato aim!
I've never heard them say that.
I have. Have you ever been cussed out by a 12-year-old?
Yeah, many times. I just
I have.
never heard them say potato aim.
I've heard him say it a few
be-
times. But anyways,
Then again, it's been many years since I've actually played online
Right.
Call of Duty.
right. They've gotten worse. Now I think 8 and 9-year-olds are cussing people out.
I believe it.
So all this happened, and I think the outcome was they dropped like the gun possession charge that they were trying to hit him with. I think the only charge that stuck was the threat and intimidation charge. But even then, you get a good defense attorney.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but that Okaloosa County, was it?
Yeah.
That county would get sued.
Oh, they're going to.
He might get a fine.
I mean,
Yeah.
just if anybody from Okaloosa is watching this, just know y'all might have some fines coming your way. Not the citizens, the government. Holy cow!
Gummit.
The lawsuits will ensue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you right now, mental damage. Think about that. I would never be able to sit in the back seat of a car again.
No.
Ever. Like, forget the fact that my baby mama, like, is trying to get me shot by the cops. Like, me and her would be done, okay? But now I could never sit in the back of an SUV ever again. I could never have people walking behind me. Like, he could sue for mental anguish, for darn near losing his life. I mean,
The cops,
there were so many
the cops
things.
should have been like, and let that be a lesson to you.
Yeah. Bet you won't threaten her again, will you?
How does that feel?
Yeah.
I can pretty much guarantee that when the guy started saying shots fired and barrel rolling, he's like, wait, who's shooting at him? And then all of a sudden rounds start popping through.
You're shooting at me.
Like, I won't do it!
If I had my silenced pistol right now, I'd be shooting back.
Right?
You're lucky I don't have it, because I would shoot back.
So what'd you say? None.
Right. Yeah, so it was a, needless to say, that was a S show completely. It was bad. It was bad all the way around on the officer's part. Look, don't be stupid, okay? Don't be threatening people with guns just because you have them. Don't be, you know,
threatening people. Period.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Unless they need it.
No.
Some
I
people-
agree with
some-
Devin.
Don't threaten people.
Just do.
If you need, just do.
Just do.
Yeah, just do.
Nike, just do it.
Just do it.
Well, here's the thing. Don't threaten people. And so what really got this guy in hot water, like if I were to obviously right now it's on camera, so it wouldn't just be your word against mine, but if I threaten
I feel very
Eric,
threatened.
If I threaten
He's
Eric,
touching me. He's touching me.
if I threaten Eric, right, and it's just verbal, there's nothing there.
Well,
but it wasn't
that's-
just verbal.
That's actually
He-
the assault charge.
He texted all of his threats to his baby mama and sent her a picture of the suppressed pistol,
Yeah.
which is why she's like showing the cops like, hey, this is everything he said to me. This is, and then the guy showed up while they were there. Look, the stupidity is all the way around. It's not just on the cops, okay? This guy,
That was a 360 degrees
Yep.
of stupid.
it was a dome of stupidity. It was like, oh. Anyways, so I think what we learned is here, don't be stupid. And if the cops are shooting at you, lay down in the back seat and hope to God they have horrible aim. I mean, goodness. Well, I think we beat that horse down. What do you guys say?
Yep.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Multiple
You
times.
should really go online and look up some of the AI-generated images of cops fighting
like
acorns.
Oh, those are so great.
You know what's funny? I have AI programs. I could make my own.
You should do it.
You should do it and let me like upload one at the end of this video.
Totally do it.
You should do like 3 squirrels with guns and like have each one of us put our favorite gun in it. Devin, Josh, Eric. That'd be
Although it might be a little. It doesn't know who Devin, Josh, and Eric are, so it'd be a little difficult to.
Oh, that's the power of editing, buddy. You just put the text underneath the picture.
Oh, no, that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Edited. We thank you. Acorns out.
Sun's out. Acorns out.
Yeah. So here's one thing I did want to talk about, though. Now, back in the day, let's say 15, 20 years ago,
Okay.
this cop would have got a slap on the wrist. Both cops would have probably got a slap on the wrist. It would have got swept under the rug. This guy's charges would have been probably dismissed, right? They would have just said, hey, we're going to let both hands wash each other. You're not going to get any charges. You're going to be on probation for a while. You're going to be on probation for a while, and we're going to act like none of this ever happened, right?
Yep.
Imagine the amount of acorns that would have ended up on this cop's desk every day from the other officers.
Oh man.
Just like that would have been funny in itself, because you know them old officers back in the day would have trolled the crap out of him. It would have just been like every time he opens his locker, just mounds and mounds of like acorns, golf balls, anything small enough to fit in his locker, just millions of them. So every time he opens his locker, it's just coming
Like
out.
every time he opens his desk, it's like that scene from The Office where Jim puts a bunch of meatballs into Dwight's desk. Except he's opening it up with acorns.
Yeah, that would be it.
I would so do that.
It would be the
Think about it. If I was in that department, I've done it.
I'd be outside with a shop vac every day just sucking up a bunch of acorns so I could mess with them if I was there.
Take a 5-gallon shop vac and just dump the acorns in his driver's seat.
I'd rent a pickup truck from U-Haul so that I could keep doing it and just loading them
my
up
gosh.
and then just go there.
Imagine the dirty Santa of that Christmas, right?
Oh, that would have been rough. But that's yeah. So I thought about that after the fact. I thought, man, back in the day, they would have messed with him a lot.
Yeah, mainly because no one back then really would have had a dash cam. It would all just been whatever was on the vehicle.
Right, and it would have been hearsay, you know.
Yep.
They could have said they heard a shot, right, and thought it came from him, and then it could have been an unsolved mystery about the shot that happened in the neighborhood.
Tonight, on Unsolved Mysteries.
Right, a shot that happened that caused an officer to unload his pistol into the back of his own cruiser.
And then there'll be theories about the acorn. There'll be theories about
the acorn will just be a theory, though.
Yeah, the acorn will be a theory. There will be a theory about like gang violence that are actively going after the cops. There'll be a theory probably about aliens.
It's like
a theory about the cop being a Nazi.
They would forget the part that he was parked under a tree.
It's like,
and so it's like, where'd the acorn come from? once.
Yeah.
It would have been like, but not all believe in theories of a natural.
Yeah. The dramatic.
What about
change?
the supernatural?
Yeah.
Commercial break.
Right. Commercial break. Right. I was gonna say that's about the time right there. They hook you. Oh, I miss the TV shows that used to be like that.
Right?
Ironically enough, there was actually a TV show I watched just recently, like last week.
Yeah.
I think it's called like X Encounters or something like that.
Oh,
Where like
Oh, yeah,
they investigate like encounters with like Bigfoot, the cryptids and stuff like that. Like,
and that's how they pose things.
Oh,
and
yeah.
maybe this happened. Dun dun dun.
right,
Commercial
like
break.
they were doing the Bigfoot one. I actually saw the Bigfoot one, and the girl's out there filming something, and with the thermal camera. And it's like they catch a creature on the thermal camera. Like, oh my gosh, is this it? Did we find a Sasquatch? I'm like, that's a doe! I can see the ears! There's 2 of them! I see the second head!
Oh my
Like,
god.
And then one guy, the guy in a tree stand.
We should totally have a day where we just talk about cryptids.
Oh boy, that'll
man.
take a while. That might be a 2-parter.
It'd be hilarious.
That'd be great.
Oh yeah.
You know they what do they call them my brother told me what they call them in Louisiana. I forget what they call them.
Which ones? The Bigfoots?
Like the Bigfoot in Louisiana?
Sasquatch?
No.
Skunk ape?
Swamp
No.
Man?
You sure it's not skunk ape?
I'm positive. I forget they call it like that's for another time.
Yeah.
Almost positive it's skunk ape.
Before we get into all that, we'll
It's
have to
not
make
Yeti,
that
I know
into
that. That's up
a
north.
episode.
Yeah.
Because that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
I love cryptid stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
But it is so funny just watching them like deliberately misrepresent the information.
Right?
And then do it in dramatic fashion too.
Right.
Dun dun dun. Any last words?
Aliens.
Like they were saying, like don't, I kind of cracked a joke earlier, but in all seriousness, don't go out of your way to threaten people with firearms. The reason why I kind of mildly made that joke is because some people will act violently, and you are going to have to protect yourself. And that's where tools like this come in handy.
Right.
Because it is an essential part to life is you have to defend yourself violently from violent people. But if you're angry at someone, don't be using a gun to cause problems. And then if you have to go face the cops, pray to God they don't park under an oak tree.
No kidding. And let's just hope if that day comes and you do get shot at, whoever's shooting at you has the worst aim ever.
Or get small.
Or get very small. All right, that's going to do it for us. We'll see you.
See ya.
Latest.